Welcome to Accreditation Made Easy, the podcast that takes the stress out of accreditation. I am your host, Areaka Jewell, and in each episode, we'll deliver actionable tips, expert insights, and practical strategies to help streamline the process. And of course, make your work life a little easier. Now, whether you're tackling policies, preparing for assessments, or just looking for ways to stay ahead, we've got you covered. Let's simplify accreditation, one step at a time. Mock assessments are the dress rehearsal for the real thing. This is where you want issues exposed, weaknesses identified, and recommendations made all before your formal assessment team arrives. In short, these are the people you really want telling you if your baby is ugly. If you haven't heard that before, then I'm dating myself. Or better yet, your baby just needs a diaper change. Hi friends, I'm Areaka Jewell, and welcome back to another episode of Accreditation Made Easy. Today we're talking about mock assessors, how to choose them, what I've seen agencies get right, and what I've seen go a little in the wrong direction. Now, the goal of a mock assessment is simple. You want fresh eyes on your files, the files that you've been pouring yourself over for the past few years. You want thoroughness, not that you haven't been thorough, but you know what I mean. You want objectivity and you want problem solvers. Because if something isn't quite right, you don't just want somebody pointing it out. You want somebody who can think through it, give you practical ways to fix it while still maintaining the integrity of the process. So where do agencies usually start? Well, most start with the assessor list from their accrediting body, and that's exactly where you should start. That gives you the most accurate list of qualified people to choose from. Then, narrow it down. Look for people with experience. Look for people who have worked recent assessments. That matters. It matters because standards change. They can change every year, sometimes even multiple times in a year. And you want people who are current on the standards, not relying on what the standards look like 5 years ago. Next, reach out to accreditation managers that you know, like, and trust. Ask them who they recommend because, believe it or not, reputation matters. In this world, word gets around so quickly about who is thorough, who is fair, who is helpful, and who you may want to avoid. Now, let me shift into what I've seen before. I have seen agencies submit blind requests in open forums like PAC requests, listservs, and more recently, broad professional communities like Powered EMS, where the audience is nationwide. That just creates a huge pool of uncertainty because who knows? You might get lucky, or you might end up with people you know absolutely nothing about. You don't know about their experience, how thorough they are, whether they understand your accrediting body, or what kind of reputation they have. For something this important, that's a huge gamble. Now, another thing that I see often is agencies using nearby assessors because it's either convenient or cost effective. And trust me, I get it. Budget matters, and sometimes budgets might be a little tight. But sometimes local assessors, that proximity, it creates familiarity, and familiarity can make objectivity even harder. Not always, but it's just something to consider. Now, on the other end of the spectrum, I've also seen agencies go way overboard. Instead of just 3 mock assessors, they have 6, maybe 10. Or they do multiple rounds of mock reviews and tech reviews with dozens of people touching their files before the formal assessment. Now, at first glance, that might sound super smart, right? More eyes must be better. Well, not necessarily, because what often happens is you're going to get a dozen or more different opinions, a dozen different interpretations, different ideas about how something should be built. And before long, you start chasing the perfect assessment. And here's the truth. The perfect assessment? Maybe, but not likely. Think about it. You've done your homework, you've reviewed your files, plus you had trusted mock assessors review your files. You made some reasonable corrections, you followed all their recommendation. At some point, you need confidence in your process and then just move forward. Otherwise, you'll be revising yourself in circles. Now, here's the approach that I really like. I've had accreditation managers reach out to me and ask, who would I recommend to build a strong mock team? That's smart because experienced assessors know other experienced assessors. They know who's respected, who's thorough, who brings value. That kind of referral network helps you build a trusted team rather than just hoping for the best. Let's face it, at the end of the day, your mock assessment should prepare you, not overwhelm you. So choose assessors who are thorough, objective, current on their standards, problem solvers, and trusted by others in the profession. Get the right team. Get your A team. And once you do, your formal assessment becomes a whole lot smoother. So, to recap, we've talked about the different factors to consider when you're picking your mock assessors, things like getting a list of assessors from your accrediting body, maybe asking other accreditation managers in your network. And the last option I just suggested is if you know a really good assessor, reach out to them first and then ask who they recommend and who they want to work with on your mock team. Now, we've made it to the end. If you've enjoyed this episode, please consider sharing it. And don't forget to subscribe on whatever platform that you're listening to so that you get notified when new episodes drop. And if you're not already signed up for my free helpful tips inside the Accreditation Academy Content Hub, like I said, it's free. And you'll get an email anytime a new episode and companion document are published with a link to each. So head over to www.accreditationacademy.net/sign up to get started. Thanks so much for being here. And until next time, friends, let's keep making accreditation easy, one step at a time.